When you understand personality preferences, you can more readily appreciate the differences between you and the people who are closest to you, such as your spouses, maybe your partner, your children, your friends, even other family members. And in most areas of life, when differences between you and someone else are bothersome or frustrating, you can actually avoid them in some kind of way. But what if that person is your best friend? Or maybe that person's a loved one, a family member, or even your spouse. You'd have to do a lot or lose a lot to walk away from it. So knowledge of personality type allows us to see the differences as those, just as being different, not right or wrong, we're just all different. So instead of labeling someone or putting value judgments on their behavior, you can start to see that behavior reflects their personality type or their preference. And it's not really designed to offend you or frustrate you or make you angry. Many couples can learn to appreciate the differences and even can see them through a humorous light. In their relationships, an ISFJ is so generous. They're very loyal. They're even accommodating. They're dedicated to taking care of their loved ones, and they are going to make their families a responsibility that they take very, very seriously. They want to provide, to assist, and they're very attentive to the details of the people around them. They appreciate tradition, especially history, and they want to create a relationship that is going to be based on traditional ideas. They are going to tend to lean toward those customary traditional gender roles and dutifully take on the duties that go along with them. They're motivated to help, and they're going to put their partner's needs ahead of their own. They really have a very clear idea of what their partner should do, but they're not going to be very demanding when it comes to their own need because they want harmony over everything else. They're going to withdraw and pull away rather than engage in some kind of conflict. They want a relationship that is going to allow them to be very helpful and devoted, and they appreciate consideration and a thoughtful partner who recognizes their dedication to really nurture others. With their partner, they're going to place a great deal of importance on that relationship. They're giving and loving, and they're going to place the needs of others above their own. Sometimes, however, they do get to be a little bit problematic when they are overly emotionally needy, and they like to keep their true feelings hidden from others. They take their commitments very seriously, and they seek lifelong relationships. They're very, very dependable, and they're going to put a lot of energy into looking at and keeping things running smoothly within their relationship. Now, the other thing that's really neat is that they have a difficulty at times saying no when they're asked to do something, and it's because they may be taken for granted. So you need to be very aware of this and make sure that their needs are taken care of as well. Their strengths are that they are warm, friendly, and affirming. They're service-oriented. They're people pleasers, good listeners. They are going to put a lot of effort into their duties and obligations. They tend to have some great organizational capabilities, and they're good at taking care of the practical matters and especially those daily needs. They're good at handling money, and they take their commitments very seriously, even looking for lifelong commitments. On the weakness side, they tend to forget their own needs because they're just not going to pay attention to themselves, putting their mate above themselves. They have difficulty with change and trying new things. Remember that since they are feeling oriented, they really need a foundation of harmony, which means that they will dislike any kind of conflict and criticism. They will not express their needs, and when that happens, it means that they're going to build up a lot of frustrations and irritations until it finally does explode. They'll also have difficulty leaving any kind of bad relationship or moving on after the end of a relationship. They're committed, very committed, with very intense feelings. And this may not always be apparent to others because they hold those feelings inside themselves and they tend not to express them very well. But they will express them if they have a strong reason to do so. The intensity of this feeling is going to make their love, their relationship, their intimacy, their mate, the very first priority in life, with the possible exception of God. They are monogamous, they want lifelong eternal commitments, and they're dependent upon. They will be faithful and loyal to their mates forever. They have difficulty leaving a bad relationship, and they tend to put all of the blame on their own shoulders and wonder what they could have done to make it work out. However, they are true blue, and they're going to be faithful even if their partner were to be deceased. They're selfless, and sometimes, though, this may backfire on them because they could be taken advantage of, especially if they do not have a good outlet for their emotions. At this point, this is when they may bottle up their feelings, and even at times are going to really have some strong resentments towards others. They see intimacy as a tangible way of strengthening their relationship. They also see it as a duty. They're going to be more interested in serving their partner than in taking care of their own personal satisfaction. They're not very wordy about expressing love and affection because they are going to be more apt to show it through their deeds. They're going to be very kind in making sure that the needs of their partner are caring for. They're warm, they're selfless, they are going to put great amounts of energy and time into their relationships, and they're going to want others to show them their appreciation. So the best gift that you can give an ISFJ is to express your love and appreciation. They do have difficulty with conflict, and they're just going to want to hide things and sweep it under the rug. Sometimes facing conflict will help to resolve it, but they really just don't want to, especially don't want to express how they feel about it. So a conflict situation may not necessarily be a problem which needs to be gotten rid of, and it's also not necessarily an ISFJ's fault, although they will take that upon themselves. Remember, they're very traditional. They're family-minded individuals, and they're going to place the comfort of their mates and families as the first priority in their life. They're great in providing basic needs, and they have a very in-depth, innate ability of caring, which is unusual and not found in the other personality types. They're very invested in the health of their relationships, and they're going to work very hard to make things run smoothly. They are also very dependable, even affectionate lovers. The kindred souls for the ISFJ are the ESTP, ESFP, ISTJ, INFJ, and the ESFJ. So let's look at why we have chosen those kindred souls. So our natural attraction to people who share our dominant function, but who use it in different directions, works very well for us. We not only flip-flop that introverted or extroverted trait, but we're also going to flip-flop the judging and perceiving trait. So in this way, the partner that we choose for ourselves is going to have a very different approach to dealing with the external world. But if we're laid back and indecisive, then generally our partner is going to be structured and decisive. And if we're reserved, our partner is going to be outgoing. For all of our apparent differences, though, we do still have a common vision of what's really important in life, and that creates the foundation between these kindred souls. Although we really believe that this model is going to work well in finding and maintaining healthy relationships, it's important to remember that it's only a guideline. Just a guideline to help understand and to give some tools and some ideas of things that value in a relationship, but they're not meant to be followed strictly. So remember that any two well-developed individuals of any type can make a relationship work, and work is the key problem here and the key concept, because there's no such thing as an effortless relationship. So don't use these ideas as an excuse to really dump your relationship.